Welcome to my Star Citizen ICC mission walkthrough video. In this video, I'll be speeding through all of the ICC scan probe missions in Star Citizen in my Cutlass, and show you where to find all of the distress beacons if you have trouble finding them, and some general strategies for how to do the missions. Throughout this video, I have sped up various parts of the footage in order to condense some of the monotony, but if you'd like to hear some of the audio for yourself, you can play Star Citizen and enjoy it yourself at your leisure.
Is now
random ship. Come in, random ship.
So the first mission is pretty straightforward. It has a really long intro. If you're taking friends with you in a multi-crew ship, you'll want to make sure you wait long enough for her to finish her spiel.
Which, yes, means I can totally see you. Right now. Anyway, there was actually a reason to why I commed. I'm sort of not allowed to leave my post. Important jump point scanning and all. So, I was hoping you might be able to help me with something. If you have a second, could you check out these coordinates? Scans are saying something's there, but can't ID it.
For this first mission, it's right in front of you, you head towards the red dot. 2 pirates will spawn per player, and so in this case I had several pirates spawn. You could ignore the pirates, they may destroy your ship. Once you've exited into EVA, they won't target your ship anymore. But regardless, whether or not you destroy the pirates or quickly eject and grab the distress beacon thingy and leave, the mission's pretty easy on its own if it wasn't for the fact that there's a lot of players typically at the first mission. So you may have to be careful of real pirates or player pirates at this mission, although the rest of the missions are a lot more barren, less players to bother you. If you'll notice, I'm not really using full speed. That's because I'm in an asteroid belt, and I like to be very careful where I'm going, where my velocity indicator is headed. If it's ever pointed at an asteroid, that's typically very bad. And you never want to have it pointed at a pirate or another ship either for very long, because you're likely to collide with them. I use my roll and yaw and pitch and such to make sure I'm not directly pointed at it, but I'm a little bit off from the pirates. Right now there's a bug in Star Citizen where occasionally when missiles are fired at you by a pirate, the inbound missiles just stay there. This is fixed whenever you get out of your ship and get back in it, so you don't have to worry about that. Do be careful that you don't cruise into the asteroid. So if you're in cruise mode, you'll want to exit considerably before, and you'll want to make sure you slow down because the asteroid's pretty close to it. Also, you may or may not be in comm satellite monitored space here, so you may want to have a weapon and be ready for a first-person shooting if anyone comes up here. There's another ship here nearby who is also either doing this mission or, I don't know, harassing people.
Got a contact.
Hopefully he doesn't ram my ship.
Let's see what the regis say.
Certainly making it more difficult for me to get in it.
I need you on shield now.
I prefer to use the hatch near the cockpit for the Drake rather than go out the back. It's also less likely to have people randomly hop in my ship, but... At this point, I'll make sure I track the next mission. You have to track each mission in between if you want to track the missions at all. At this point, I'm looking at my ship status, and I'm somewhat damaged, so I try and head over to Astro to get some repair. And as soon as I arrive at Astro, I find a couple of pirates. So assuming they're probably hostile, I immediately warp off to the first thing I can find and get back to doing missions. I don't really need to go back. There are 2 Astro stations, as I find out in a minute, or a few minutes, but
Welcome back to the probe.
better to stay away from pirates. And once you're doing the missions, they're unlikely to track you down because you don't have the distress beacon locations if you haven't done the mission yet. So most pirates won't bother you on missions 2 through 8.
It's coming from these coordinates. You should help if you can.
So the second mission is a fairly straightforward one. You head for the distress beacon, 2 pirates will appear per player, and you'll have to defend a civilian ship, and then you can leave immediately. Do be careful of the asteroids here. The pirates and the constellation are hidden between 2 asteroids, so you end up getting very close to the asteroids if you're moving at any high speed. Also, be sure you don't crash into an asteroid while going past it. And sometimes the pirates just vanish into thin air, which is nice.
Thank you for helping me. Maybe someday I'll be able to return the favor.
And that's all there is to those missions.
Whoa, a
drive
repeat
is
visit.
now off.
I should
Now
probably be less
scanning.
impressed by that, shouldn't I? There's a DB blinking like crazy on my screen. Here, I sent you the location. If you take a look, it's a win-win. They get help, and I get to stop hearing the damn thing go beep, beep, beep every
I call
15
this mission the DB mission
DB stands for
because
distress
she makes a
beacon, by the
huge
way,
deal about
'cause I realized I might be the only one
using the
who calls
term
it
DB. It's just the same mission as the first one, except for a different location. And I don't know if it's further away or what. It seems to be close to another distress beacon. It's a pretty clear area. There's a lot less large asteroids that get in the way. You just head out there. It's a bit farther than before, I think, but once you get out there, a couple of pirates will spawn. You shoot them both. At some point I noticed that I'm not coupled, so my velocity is not working, but once I fix that, it's much easier to actually kill stuff. And then I notice my velocity's off, so I move a little bit so I don't get hit as much with their missiles. And now I have to look for the thing again, but it helps when when you can't find it for some of these missions if you just stop and then look for it, because then you are less likely to get lost and further away from it. Typically after a pirate battle you're pretty close to it, but not that close. So if you stop and look around, you may be able to see it without wandering off into the distance or something. Keep getting hung up on a lot of the debris, which can kind of slow you down sometimes.
Day 73. Very excited to be coming up to Crusader.
And don't forget to use shift or whatever key you have for boosting when you're EVAing to speed stuff up, but be careful, it's easy to go past your ship and it takes a while to slow down.
That's weird. Just got an alert that says an airlock was triggered.
Like I just did.
I swear, the new operating system is designed to not work with these older models. So, anyway, still undecided about whether to visit Hurston or not. Place is already kind of...
Try and, whenever you're getting back in your ship, make sure you use, if that's an option, in order to avoid glitching with the game if you enter between different physics grids without telling the game you're doing so. I believe it's fine if you're in a Drake and you're entering the back, but if I just EVA'd into it, or if I was in an Aurora and I just EVA'd straight into it, it works sort of, but not entirely, and it can lead to other glitches later on.
You are out of flares.
One cool tip is if you're trying to get out of an area quickly, you can actually quantum in any direction, and as soon as you've entered quantum, you can spam quantum again to get out of it, and that will warp you into some middle of nowhere space so that you can get away or whatever. So in this case, I had to refuel and repair my ship and restock some stuff. Do watch your fuel as you're doing these missions. I don't think you can do all of them without running out of fuel. And you don't want to run out of fuel in the middle of space because you'll need a rescue from another player or destroy your ship in suicide, or it just won't end up very pretty.
Hey there, stranger.
Is now off.
I just got a comm. Here.
Help! I need help! Please! Anybody, hurry!
Does not sound good. Sending you the location of the signal. I think you should go try to help. I mean, you don't have to. You can do what you want, or whatever, but after hearing this, are you really not going to?
So this mission is just a civilian escort mission as far as I remember. You just warp in the area, go to the location, kill a couple of pirates, and then that's it. Oh, I'm assuming you have to make sure that the civilian ship is not destroyed while you're killing the pirates. So, do make sure they don't take too much damage, but if you're killing the pirates at any reasonable speed, they won't. I think you have to wait until they finish talking and they give you the next mission before you warp off to the location to make sure you complete the mission. So that's why I'm waiting here until I get ICC mission to track, and that's it. So I noticed there's another player here, or another pirate rather. In order to make sure they don't do anything, I just head off in a direction away from them, switch to cruise mode, and then if they wanted to track me down, they'd have to really hustle and try and catch me. And it doesn't matter how close I am to her, so long as I stay in the zone, I think, to finish getting the mission. And then I use decouple to warp off to the location without changing my velocity, so no chance of getting attacked by pirates. This mission is fairly simple, you just have to warp to the location, however it's kind of hidden, it's in... oh, never mind, civilian ship. Most of the missions start blending together, although there's a few interesting ones.
Target is destroyed. System damage.
Saved my life. I won't forget.
Also, it helps if you are finished with a mission or whatever to head out of it so you don't get caught by asteroids or anything.
Just the pilot I was hoping to see. Drop whatever you're doing. 2 words. Distress bacon. Beacon. Distress beacon. Sorry, I didn't have breakfast.
So this mission I like to call the bacon mission, because she makes a huge deal about bacon. And I love bacon. Bacon's delicious. Okay, so this mission is fairly straightforward. I thought the last mission was this mission, but you just head over to the location. It's in between 2 asteroids or more. There'll be a couple of pirates. Be very careful to kill them and not go too far to lose the location of the beacon, because it is in between a whole bunch of asteroids, so you can easily get your view blocked of it, and then you can't find it forever. I lost it for a second, but it's pretty close. And of course you want to make sure your ship's not rotating or anything when you leave. Try not to bump it too much, otherwise it'll be really difficult to get back in your ship. It's actually the screen, not the light, as I found out.
My convoy was hit in transit. Bastards had taken out the array so we couldn't get a proper distress. They shot my ship up and vented the others. I mean, vented them like they were nothing. They're dragging my ship somewhere. Guess they thought they'd killed me. I'm sending out a low pulse distress. Hopefully they won't pick it up. If you're in the area, please help.
And so that's the bacon mission. It's pretty easy, other than the asteroid, or the distress beacon being in between 2 asteroids. The next mission following the bacon mission is what I like to call the impossible mission. This is another go to the distress beacon and activate it mission. And just getting to it is really challenging because it's hard to locate where exactly the thing is. It's a pretty large asteroid field with 3 very large asteroids, and it's like sandwiched in between one of the asteroids almost. And so you can't see it initially from warping in, as far as I can tell. And normally the red beacon is directly in front of your ship on warp in. In this case it's not next to this distress beacon warp in either. So I'm gonna have trouble finding it, but some useful methods in order to try and locate beacons if you ever lose them, say after a combat mission, is you'll want to go in one direction, speed up to cruise mode, make sure wherever you're aiming is not into an asteroid, and then you can decouple and look around and see if you can find it as you're flying around. And then you'll want to take passes through the system, and each time you do a pass, you'll want to check around the large asteroids especially. You won't really want to focus on if you get the alert of where the mission is if you get too far away from it. That's usually not very helpful. Don't go too far away though. But you'll want to look for the red light or hear any sound of the beeping. Either one is a good indicator that you're really close to it. It's a flashing light, not one of the lights in the background. Also, don't turn around too fast because it doesn't beep that or flash that frequently. As I'm sailing around here, it's actually sandwiched in between one of the large asteroids, and I don't think to check them all. And I think I just saw a glimpse of it a second ago, but... yeah, so I'm far away from it, but I think I'm actually closer to finding it than if I went back to the identify signal location. So yeah, this is it's not a hard mission, it's just kind of annoying because you have to search a lot of the different asteroids until you can find it, or just get good at memorizing it. And of course you can also try and use this video to track it down yourself. Like I said, though, it's helpful to just use speed throughs and go from asteroid to asteroid, checking around all the nooks and crannies. Do be careful when changing directions. Don't run into asteroids. And there it is, I found it. It's sandwiched in between those asteroids. This mission's also kind of nice because there's no pirates to bother you, as far as I've seen. So you just have to find the really well hidden beacon, and it's hidden between like 3 different asteroids. I don't call it the impossible mission for nothing. Well, I guess I should call it the really hard mission rather the impossible mission or the hidden mission or something like that, but impossible makes it sound cooler.
Crusader SHQ, this is Pilot Hondo. Patrol Group 17's been ambushed. I think it's the Nine Tails. Hat scan blocked. I didn't see him coming till it was too late. Taking heavy damage. It's not good. I've lost power to thruster 3 and 4. Oh shit! 6 is gone. I'm not gonna be able to...
Deck impact warning.
Also be careful when you get back in your ship after collecting a wreck. Your ship may have rotated some, and you want to be careful not to run into more of the asteroid mess. That's why I also always go a little bit to the right of the wreck, so that you don't accidentally run into the asteroid or the wreck. And this is the final mission here.
Hey,
Drive is now
got something
off.
for you. I'm picking up a faint distress beacon on my scanners. I'll send you the coordinates. Might want to be careful though. I was just reading about an outlaw pack that like to use them to lure people into ambushes. Not that it should stop you from looking. Just, you know, don't get ambushed.
So, this is, I guess this is, could be called the ambush mission. I don't know of how the ambush works. The way I attempt this mission is I quickly speed into cruise mode. I head straight for the beacon, which is in the middle of a whole bunch of asteroids, but from where you spawn you can see it. So don't move around much until you know where you're going. I quickly stop and get out of my ship. I run as fast as I can over to the wreckage itself. I quickly scan it, and then I get back in my ship. I turn around towards the ICC beacon or wherever to make sure I'm not aiming in an asteroid, and then I warp out of the system, and I don't see any pirates. And once you finish a mission, there's no reason for you to fight any pirates that spawn if they do. So, unless they're somehow blocking you from quantuming out, you could always cruise away from them. I don't believe pirates use cruise mode to catch up to you, so if you cruise away for a little bit, you can then jump into quantum mode, quantum in a random direction, and then go wherever you want. Or you could quantum elsewhere to a specific location if you have a little bit more time. But anyways, this was the ICC mission walkthrough for Star Citizen. I am Mythignahilikek, and thanks for watching.